Welcome to the Bad Cats Club, and this week has not been kind to horror fans. It's no longer possible to believe that Kojima and Konami going their separate ways is some kind of elaborate, if cruel, April Fool's joke. And if you're not in the loop of what's been going on, here it is. Recently, Hideo Kojima's name and the logo of his production company was removed from Konami's websites and their marketing materials. Konami claims it's all part of a rebranding process where they want their name to be front and center, but why would they want that? In the eyes of the gamers, Kojima's name is golden. We all know he's a genius, a demented and unreliable genius, but a genius all the same. And if you walk into a room and say Konami, well, this happens.
Boycott Konami. Let them know that you are unhappy.
The only trouble is I get so annoyed at Konami that I end up trying to vocalize my feelings, just end up clutching my face, screaming, and headbutting a concrete floor until my brain bleeds.
We complain and we complain, and Konami does not fix the problem. They feed the problem, and they're gonna kill themselves.
Brand my ass. It's just another way for Konami to punish Kojima for not falling in line, the same way they limited his access to internet and to emails. Kojima says not to worry, he's definitely gonna finish Metal Gear Solid. Well, I am worried, I'm fucking worried. I don't care about Metal Gear Solid. Jeez, oh, okay, so it was the best-selling third-party game on the PlayStation. Who cares? I didn't buy it. And you know what I think happened? I think Konami didn't feel comfortable with the way he was handling Silent Hill, that he wanted to take it to a place that was a little bit too risky for their whole let's broaden the audience kind of ideas. It's definitely all Konami's fault. And in fact, I made a small video reenacting what I think happened.
It's my way or the highway.
Fine. I'm not gonna compromise my vision for your bottom line. So if that's the way it's gotta be.
You don't have the balls. You're nothing without a sacks of money.
Pack it up, boys. We're leaving.
Stop, or the engine gets it.
Foxy, no! You monster!
What did you think, Hideo? That we would just let you walk out of here with our property?
You can't do this, Konami.
Oh, but I can. Remember this? You signed a contract stating that everything you make here belongs to us.
Dad, just go, Dad. I want you to be free.
Foxy?
Oh, Dad, be a true artiste. For me. I love you, Dad.
Wait, where are you going? Come back here, Kojima! You'll never make it out there by yourself! You need me! Kojima!
Wow, that was compelling footage. And I'm pretty sure that's close to what happened. So, Kojima's out. And sources inside of Konami says that Silent Hill will proceed without him. The only upside is that the deal between Guillermo and Konami won't be affected. That's totally separate. But is that really an upside? In a previous video, I said that Guillermo has never done a game before, and he hasn't. That is, he hasn't finished a game. Now look at that. That looks cool. But it's not finished yet. Del Toro says he's still working on it, but this was like 4 years ago. Del Toro talks a good game, but he needs guidance. And with Kojima gone, who's gonna lead this game development and not fuck it up? I don't know, but I know this is dire news for all Silent Hill fans. And that I am deeply worried that Konami is not gonna give the series the fresh new start it needs, but they're gonna come out with the same old shit they always do, trying to appeal to everyone, and thereby appealing to no one. And the PT demo? Is that even gonna be a factor anymore? Or is Konami gonna revamp the whole thing and start from scratch? I hope not, and I don't think so. I mean, the reception for PT was so great that I have a hard time believing they wouldn't do anything with that. While we're on the topic of PT, I recently watched a video by YouTuber Iron Cookbender, link in the description. And in his analysis, he makes some excellent points. The one I found most interesting is that there are 3 different ghosts, and he makes a few different points where he can say that this could be the case, but the most interesting for me was the 3 different sounds that we hear. From the radio, we hear electronic static and what sounds like laughter. From the phone, we hear what begins as static and continues with heavy breathing. And in the mirror in the bathroom, we hear sounds of a woman crying. And also, the radio in Start does talk about 3 different murders.
The rifle used in the crime at his local gun store 2 days earlier. This brutal killing took place while the family was gathered at home on a Sunday afternoon. The day of the crime, the father went to the trunk of his car, retrieved the rifle, and shot his wife as she was cleaning up the kitchen after lunch. When his 10-year-old son came to investigate the commotion, the father shot him too. His 6-year-old daughter had the good sense to hide in the bathroom, but reports suggest he lured her out by telling her it was just a game. The girl was found shot once in the chest from point-blank range. The mother, who he shot in the stomach, was pregnant at the time. Police arriving on scene after neighbors called 911 found the father in his car listening to the radio. Several days before the murders, neighbors say they heard the father repeating a sequence of numbers in a loud voice. They said it was like he was chanting some strange spell. There was another family shot to death in the same state last month, and in December last year, a man used a rifle and meat cleaver to murder his entire family. In each case, the perpetrators were fathers.
So the radio talks about 3 different murders. The first one being the dad who shot his pregnant wife in the kitchen and then offed his 2 kids. The second one we get very little information about, just that it happened last month. And the third one, the dad takes a hatchet and a rifle to finish off his family. The first dad is found alive in his car listening to the radio, and the third one is found in his garage where he hung himself with a garden hose. Or did he? We do get some additional information here.
After killing his family, the father hung himself they had in the garage.
So we listen to the radio and we hear the echo saying that he actually hung himself with an umbilical cord, suggesting that the babies are what's important here. They're the key. So Iron Cook thinks we're playing as one of the dads, but look at the photos. The pictures are not modern. They do not depict a young couple in our time. If you look at the hair and the clothes, I'd say these pictures are from the 60s or 70s. And that may well make us, if this game is set in our time, the right age to be born around the time the pictures were taken and now be grown. So what if we're the baby who lived? What if, and we're diving very deeply into speculative territory here, but what if these 3 women were all pregnant and impregnated by the same entity, trying to find a way into our world? And where dad number 1 and dad number 3 were successful, dad number 2 was not. Our mother lived, carried us to term, and here we are. So dad number 2 tried to kill his wife, but she survived long enough to give birth. And that child is now drawn to Silent Hill to fulfill its destiny and awaken the deity that fathered him. Think about it. There are 3 murders and we encounter 2 babies. The one in the bathroom sink and the one screaming in the fridge. And there are 3 ghosts, and the 3 ghosts are murdered mothers. The hallway one, her baby's trapped in the fridge, so she's pissed and trying to stop us from going to Silent Hill. She is angry and jealous that we got to live while she and her baby died, which is consistent with how Japanese lore about ghosts go, and she's out to get us. So she can attack and get you in PT, but I also think that she's the one attacking you in the concept trailer. So as we pass the boy, who I think might be the murdered 10-year-old brother of the fridge fetus, we see a lot of toys coming out, and I think that has something to do with the voice we hear at the end of the trailer.
But guess what? I will be coming back, and I'm bringing my new toys with me.
So the murder boy and his mom is out to get us, but we do get some help, don't we? I mean, that just kind of happens, and I gotta say, very conveniently so. The second ghost we see is from the third murder, the dad who killed his family with a hatchet and a rifle. And as we get to the peeking scene in PT, where you look through the hole into the bathroom, you can hear a voice. It's the same voice from the radio who drove these fathers to kill in the first place.
I'm talking to all the fine, upstanding folks got their welfare cut, got their jobs pulled out from under us. You know what to do. Now's the time.
So we hear the voice from the radio saying it's time, calling to action, and then we hear someone getting killed. There's also the message above the door saying, "Forgive me, there's a monster inside of me." Like many, I just assumed it was a message from the killer, but what if it's not? What if it's a message from one of the pregnant mothers, knowing what's happening, but being unable to stop it? So I think the bathroom dad kills his wife, cuts the baby out, and puts it in the sink. She's a more passive ghost than who just wants to be left alone in the bathroom to mourn over her baby and have a good cry. And even though I think she's the one that drops the window on us, we're not in any real danger of being injured here. It seems more like she just wants to mess with us. And also, as the hallway ghost becomes more aggressive, the cockroaches get the door open so that we can get to safety when we need to, slamming the door behind us so that the hallway ghost, the really mean one, can't get in. Now, if that was the same entity as the ghost in the bathroom, she really shouldn't have a problem getting in. But she can't, and we just have to wait patiently for her to give up, go away. So why are the cockroaches helping us? Well, in Catholic lore, insects are often used as tools of evil. And as we go deeper into the rabbit hole, and getting ever closer to Silent Hill, the evil power grows, and so does the number of his loyal minions, guiding us along our way, a lot like Valtiel did in Silent Hill 3. Now, this isn't as far-fetched as it might seem at first glance. Silent Hill is often portrayed as a place you go to be punished for your sins, to clear your conscience. But in the first game, Harry hasn't committed any sins. He's just looking for his daughter, who's been drawn to Silent Hill to awaken a deity of a small cult who wishes him to bring paradise on earth for the believers and, death and destruction for everyone else. In the first Silent Hill, we learn that Alyssa split her soul in order to stop the god from being born and placed that soul in a baby. Now, is it really such a stretch to think that a deity might have taken the soul he needs, split it in 3, and put them into these unborn babies, hoping that they'll find their way to Silent Hill, reunite, and awaken God? And in Silent Hill, the radio has always been a big deal. Forget TV and all that crap, just gather up your family, sit down, and tune in. The radio is where it's at. And in PT, this is still true, with the eerie messages talking directly to you, telling you not to touch that dial, not to trust the tap water, spreading fear and paranoia, and a very cryptic code.
You're listening to the DJ Rick Show on WLMN-FM, where the tracks are tight and the sweet melodies flow on and on. It's always a perfect day with DJ Rick's, your on-air friend to the end.
Look, man, I came through hell and high water to
get... Father number one obviously listened to the radio, and my guess is so did the other two. Hearing its message, slowly wearing them down, and eventually getting them to kill their families. And when we talk to the paper bag, he does tell an interesting story.
I walked. I could do nothing but walk. And then I saw me walking in front of myself. But it wasn't really me. Watch out. The gap in the door. It's a separate reality. The only me is me. Are you sure the only you is you?
So he's speaking about an out-of-body experience, walking behind himself and seeing himself, but it's not really him. And he knows who he is. He knows the only him is him, but he warns you and asks you, do you know the only you is you? And I think that this is alluding to the split soul, that there is, in a sense, more than one of you. I also think the running hallway footage is a peek into his mind, how he was feeling like he was trapped and being watched, slipping deeper and deeper into paranoia. And no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't get out, not until he killed his family. Only then is the loop broken, but even after he kills, because the radio told him to, the fetus in the sink mocks him and emasculates him by pointing out how he couldn't provide for his family, and that his wife had to take a demeaning job where she was objectified.
You got fired, so you drowned your sorrows in booze. She had to get a part-time job working a grocery store cash register. Only reason she could earn a wage at all is the manager liked how she looked in a skirt. You remember, right? Exactly 10 months back.
So we're one of the babies, all grown up. And we're being drawn to Silent Hill. We see that in this crash screen messages where Jay talks about that fateful day 20 years ago. And he has something to tell us if we'd only get in touch with him. And he'll call later and he's headed there now. There's also the text on the picture saying, "Can you hear my voice? I'll wait forever if you just come." Maybe that's your mother trying to get us to Silent Hill, trying to get us to fulfill your purpose, just like Dahlia did in the first game. The phone at the end also says something interesting. It says you've been chosen, not it's time or you need to come, but you've been chosen. Implying that you are one of several candidates, but you passed the final test and can now proceed. It's interesting to think about, but in conclusion, Kojima's out, Konami's stonewalling us, Silent Hill is pushed back to 2016, and you know what else is pushed 2016? Project Morpheus. I'm just saying.